Let's continue building our class. It's a customer class, so what can a customer have? It can have full name, first name, last name, age. Some of them could be strings, some as integers. So how do I, let's take one, first name. What do I do with it? Usually, press a tab key so it's a little bit indented. There's a property. In its simplest form, you type add property. NSString is a class that can take anywhere from a single character to many words. So name would fit in it. So let's use that one. NSString, type a star and call it first name. It put it back there so it likes that format. So that's fine. See, NSString is a class and the star means, well, I want a pointer, create a pointer of type NSString, and I'm going to call it first name. See, there are two words in first name, so let's talk about naming convention. It's called camel case. First letter is lowercase, second word actually. First word is lowercase, second word is capitalized, so that's called Hungarian notation. So what do I do on the .m side? I type and add synthesize first name. See, this is the data type NSString, a pointer to NSString, but no data type on this side. I also want the last name. Same thing, I'm going to say add property NSString. Now I'm going to type a little bit different variation of it. No star, a space. Star, last name. This time the star is on the just beginning, prefixed to the last name. Same thing as the one above. A little bit different variation for you, so you can see them and not get confused, as you would see them, when you see Objective-C written by other people. Same thing here. See, Code Assist is helping me. Now let's look at another data type. Add property. I'm going to say age. It would be 1, 2 years, 3 years. If they were children, and if they were adults, it would be 19, 21, things like that. So it would be int. There's a data type int. See, no star this time. Int is a primitive data type. So there are some primitive data types, they don't take a star. And what do I do on this side? Nothing different, just like that. Now I want total sales that they ever bought from us, and that would be could be $1,000 23 cents, so it'll take a decimal. So there's a data type for that called float. Total purchases. On this side I would say add synthesize total purchases. Let's look at another type. We'll say married. How do I specify that? It'll be yes or no, true or false. It's called a boolean. Married. So what is synthesize did for us? Let's look at it immediately. We're going to jump over to the view controller class and start. This is when we click the button, this is the action that's implemented. We're going to now create, first of all, tell this class that we are going to use the customer class. How do we do that? Pound import customer. Now this is how it goes. I need a variable of customer type, and since it's a class, I'm going to put a star there. I'm going to call it customer. Case sensitive, you see lowercase. This is the name of the class, and lowercase customer is a variable of type customer. And this is what you do on this side. Left bracket, right bracket, within, go back in there, again left bracket, right bracket, customer type, alloc, and here init. Customer, alloc, we got the variable allocated memory for it, and then we took all of that and called init on it to initialize it. Now I've got a variable of type customer. Now I can do some things with it. Customer, no, not the lowercase, uppercase customer. I have the variable customer, lowercase one right here, the pointer to type. Customer. Yeah, see, that doesn't work. The way to do that is left bracket, right bracket, within it, customer, the variable instance of the customer type. You know, in order to reduce confusion, let's call it my customer. You see, as I do that, the synthesize has automatically created functions, methods on them. One is set first name, and it takes a string type. It automatically did that for us. That's what synthesize did. We didn't have to create. In the previous version of Objective-C, you had to create all these methods. So very simple right now. You have add property, add synthesize, and now you automatically get set first name. And it's saying it takes a string type, and the way you do that is within double quotes you type in, and a semicolon goes here, an error. What does it say? Incompatible border type. Type an @ sign. This is what you gotta do. So I got that. I have set I've created an instance of customer, and I have set its first name. Same thing would be for last name, age, total purchases. And now I can spit it out. You see on the log file, I can write it out and the way you do that is nslog. There's a method called nslog, and you do the same thing. Its structure is like this. Right here you type, in between double quotes you type whatever you want to type. Well, I actually want my customer's first name. So this is how you would take it out and print it out. No errors now. You see, this is what you gotta do. nslog. Everything except this always stays the same. If you want to spit out a string to the log right here, and right there you type whatever you want. I want my customer's first name. Let's run this now and see what it does. Here we go. When I click on this button, it should fire that on click method, and it spits out Bashir. I created an instance of the type customer, set its first name as Bashir, and then I write it to the log file. Now let me try one more thing. an integer. How would you do that? Well, I would do the same thing. Looks like left bracket, right bracket, semicolon. Here I would say my customer. Is there a set age? Yes, sir. It takes an integer type. How do I set that? Let's say I'm 29. So for an integer type, none of that, @ and blah blah blah, you can just type it in. Now I'm going to spit that out. So I'm going to copy now that I have, how does it look like? Age. You see, copy and paste and change a little bit. And it's in, this time it's in, it did not like the @ sign is when I'm gonna replace replaceable parameter. If it's going to be a string, if it's going to be an integer @I, it's all in the documentation for NSLog. I'm gonna run it again. I'm gonna click it. Bashar is 29 years old. See you in part 3.